You're just a big, fat panda.
I'm not a big fat panda. I'm the big fat panda. Skadoosh.
Today we're going to start off the show differently than the others. We're going to take our first live caller. If this works, caller, you are on the air. Hello.
Hello, is this the big fat panda?
This is Panda.
It's Barbara St. James.
Hello,
I
Barb.
do enjoy your show because you're not one of those people that's always ruining the magic.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So you're the panda, huh?
It's what they call me. Big
Really? You want people calling you fats? Why the insult?
It's not really an insult. It comes from the Kung Fu Panda movie, and it kind of like disarms you from the word.
No, honey, stop it. It's like my brother-in-law, Marty. We call him Marty the Genius. You know why?
I assume he's very smart.
He's a moron. Look, my point is that he is so dumb, he doesn't understand sarcasm. So, every once in a while when he gets a brilliant idea and says something mind-numbing, like, "Hey, Barbara, wouldn't it be great if the Animal Kingdom parking lot trams were driven by animals from the park?"
Stop.
I can just look at him and say, "Marty, you're a genius." And we both smile, but for very different reasons.
All right, but what does that have to do with
Not everything's about you, honey. All right, listen. What I really wanted to ask you about was this David's DVC rentals. If I'm hearing this right, I can get a deluxe villa at Disney for cheaper than what Disney's offering it for. I mean,
Absolutely.
Come on, what do I have to do first?
Nothing, just call them.
Look, I didn't just fall off of a turnip truck. There's gotta be a hook somewhere.
No.
Do I gotta join some kinds of a club?
Absolutely not.
Go to a meeting.
No.
Eat a live goldfish.
No.
Wear a chicken suit.
No. Wear a chicken suit. No.
I'm just covering my bases, so to speak. You'll never know what's in the fine print of those deals.
But have you ever seen when we had to wear a chicken suit?
Never mind. Let's just say I've led a full life. Leave it at that. Alright, anyway, so what you're saying is I can get a great deal on a Disney suite villa with no hidden who's-whatsits using this davidsdvcrentals.com.
Barbara, you're a genius.
Why, thank you, Panda. I pride myself on...
And I'm sorry, that's all the time we have. I hope to do this again. Thank you for calling, Barbara St. James. Hello and welcome to Big Fat Panda show number 23. Our guest today is the original Dreamfinder, Ron Schneider, the man who opened up Epcot and was the Dreamfinder at the Imagination Pavilion. You know, the guy with Figment? So he is here. He will be here later. I'm so excited. Let's get right off and start with Star Wars Weekend. Star Wars Weekends is where the Disney's Hollywood Studios literally transforms into a Star Wars land with different restaurants and shows, and hopefully it's a prelude of what's to come with the real Star Wars land. And they start the morning off, I think it's usually around 11 a.m. with the Legends of the Force, the Star Wars motorcade. And the highlight for me this year with the motorcade was seeing Ian McDiarmid, the Emperor Palpatine. I just remember as a kid, him, with the lightning out of his fingers, and he's killing Luke Skywalker, and he's like Darth Vader's boss, and just to see him was really like a legend there. But the highlight of the parade was my friend Robert Bearden. He has such a zest for life. Listen to how excited he gets when Chewbaca and R2-D2 come near him. He's the guy screaming, "Oh my God, it's R2!
My favorite little droid! Oh, he's coming this way! It's R2! R2! Chewie! Yeah, baby, do it! Chewbacca!
there's the interview show, The Stars of the Saga. This used to be in the theater over by the Muppets, over by Mama Melrose, but now it's on the open-air Beauty and the Beast theater, and the Stormtroopers always did some comedy. As a matter of fact, all the characters, if you remember, until Disney owned them, used to be comedic. You will not see Darth Vader doing the moonwalk anymore. It seems that the integrity of the characters are definitely being more kept intact by Disney, whereas it used to be that they can do anything. But the Stormtroopers, they allow them to still be comedic, and watch them for a second. They're just funny.
Commander, sorry we're late. Uh-huh. And where were you? We got lost. How did you get lost? Because we used to use the big blue hat as a point of reference. That sounds like something TK612 would do.
So after they do their big interview show, Ian McDermott, again with the Emperor voice, which he describes as on the verge of vomiting. Yes, young Skywalker. However he does it, he's doing the end song from the Mickey Mouse Club, the M-I-C-K-E-Y. Watch him do this.
M-I-C. See you real soon.
See you real soon.
K-E-Y. Why? Because we like.
Because we like you.
And over by the Backlot Express, which I always confuse with Studio Catering Company, but it's the Backlot Express, they changed that into a Rebel Hangar, which you have to make special reservations for. I thought it could definitely have been decorated better. It looks like they went to Michael's Craft Store of Star Wars and just spent a couple of $100. I'm sure it's a prelude and a test of what's to come for Star Wars Land. The food was high-priced, highly themed food. The drinks were cool because you got the Sky, I don't know what the name of the ship was, the Ice Cube things, TIE Fighter or something, Ice Cube. But it was pretty cool, and there was characters walking around, so we did have a good time. And there's a whole bunch of other news happening in Central Florida. I did get to ride the Orlando Eye. It was a lot of fun. I was scared, but it wasn't that scary. When you got into the pod, there was this nice voiceover going, "Hello and welcome. You are now 200 feet above here, and you can see it." It was just very calming, and they were playing like tranquil spa music, so it really wasn't that bad.
Central Florida is home to over 1,500 bodies of water, including the St. John.
I would definitely do it again, especially because the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum and the aquarium is right next door. Make sure you buy your tickets online instead of buying them there. They are literally like 30% less if you're buying them online. And then SeaWorld announced the Mako roller coaster. The Mako is a type of a shark, I think a very fast shark. This coaster is said to go 73 miles per hour with a 200-foot drop. It doesn't do any loops, which I kind of like. So take a look at the Mako roller coaster. And then Busch Gardens announced the Cobra Curse, which seems very different. It says a family roller coaster, but it looks kind of intense to me, and it's also a spinning coaster with some sort of a vertical lift hill. There's a whole bunch of stuff just going on. And then at the same time, Universal announces Volcano Bay Waterpark, which is funny because it's the total opposite of Blizzard Beach. Blizzard Beach being frozen, Volcano Bay being, like hot lava. But if Universal can get the theming right, and they really have been good with the Universal creative team with Harry Potter's been amazing. So if they can get this right, it'll be a beautifully themed tropical tiki water park environment. I'm just looking forward to everything. And now Disney Springs opened the superhero headquarters, which is their Marvel superhero store. they just announced Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. This is an Indiana Jones themed restaurant. Well, I guess it's a bar with small food, but an Indiana Jones themed restaurant. Apparently Jock Lindsay, I've watched the movies, I don't remember this. Apparently he's his pilot, and there's something about a snake. I really hope they have like an animatronic snake coming out, but I'm really not sure how themed it will be, but I'm excited. This is right next to the boathouse. And there'll be a ton of other announcements coming for Disney Springs. It was 24-hour day, the Friday of Memorial Day. They kicked off their 24 hours with a wonderful morning show.
Now we have some very special friends who've joined us, all the way from the frozen land of Arendelle. It's Olaf, Kristoff, Anna, and Elsa. They're here to help us celebrate for 24 hours.
It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you and you and you and you. Casey Jr.'s back. Casey Jr.'s back again.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Magic Kingdom, everyone.
So I don't cover much with Disneyland, but come on, it's Disneyland's 60th anniversary. What I'm really waiting for is Disney World's 50th anniversary, but I think we have a little bit, 7 years or less to go for that. Did you see the Paint the Night parade? It's amazing. Yes, please. We'll take it here in Disney World. I have to thank Ricky Briganti inside themagic.net for this video, but look at some of these floats.
Look sharp, everybody!
Okay, and those of you into merchandise, here is another segment of MOUSE-A-HOLICS with our own Corinne Andersson.
Hi everybody and welcome back to MOUSE-A-HOLIC. I'm Corinne Andersson and today we're at Magic Kingdom and we're going to look at some of my favorite picks for this month. Come along. So my first pick for the month is the new Pirates of the Caribbean Authentic line. You all probably remember that we got this new Haunted Mansion Authentic line that had lots of old prints and cute stuff from the ride, and now it's Pirates of the Caribbean's turn. And first of all, we have some t-shirts that show off favorite characters as the Redhead and the Auctioneer, and I know everybody wants the Redhead, so that's absolutely a t-shirt you need. So now we're at the Emporium to check out some of the new fashion that just came in. And one of my favorite picks for this month are these new pants. These are featuring Lilo and Stitch, and who doesn't like the little blue alien? On these, he's showing off the more cute side, even though we know he's a rascal. And then we have these new Disney Princess pants. There's not leggings, they're regular flared pants in a really slinky material. So perfect for going into the park in the heat. Aren't they gorgeous? Showcasing like every princess, even the more rare ones. So my last pick for this month is the new Disney Tales collection. You probably recognize this from a couple years ago when it was super popular. For some reason it disappeared, but now it's back. So it's for everybody's favorite friend. They're little puppies. And you can buy this cute little Disney princess collar. It's adorable. And if you're not into pink, you have this that features the Haunted Mansion. And who doesn't want a Haunted Mansion dog? I mean, come on, it's amazing. So the entire collection features a lot of different stuff, scarves and dress up, collars, bowls, and squeaky toys, like this cute little Minnie Mouse. So if you have a little puppy at home, I highly recommend this collection. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my favorite picks for this month. And to see even more Disney merchandise, you can always visit DisneyLifestylers.com. And to order any of the merchandise you see in this segment, you can go to Disney Parks merchandise mail order number. And I hope to see you next month for even more merchandise picks.
And then I experienced something in downtown Orlando that I can only describe as immersive theater. It's called the Republic. I really had a good time. I've never experienced anything like it, so I did not know what to expect. It's kind of like walking into a play and then you're a part of it, but it's always moving. It's big. The warehouse that it's in is huge. There are rooms and surprises, and I don't want to give too much away. They try to get you into the story, and then it turns out they're making monsters, and you literally have to move bodies. Real people. I'm out of my comfort zone in a urgent type matter, lifting up bodies and moving them across the room, and it's just strange. If you have the opportunity, experience the Republic. And at the beginning of this month, I had the opportunity to stay one night in the Overwater Bungalow at the Polynesian and one night at the studio. The Polynesian is still my favorite all-time hotel. The bungalows are amazing. Are they in my normal price range? Absolutely not. Are they in someone's price range? Absolutely, because they're getting booked up. But they are really beautiful. Take a look at this room. Is definitely more affordable, especially if you're getting it through something like David's Vacation Club Rentals. dvcrentals.com. Check out these studios. They're very comfortable. There are 2 bathrooms. One has a toilet, one does not, but they both have showers and sinks. It's just a very comfortable room and a great way to go to the Polynesian. Now the prize for this month is my last Pocket Pop collection of Anna, Elsa, and Olaf, the Frozen Pocket Pop collection. How to get in on this prize? Simply make sure you're subscribed to BigFatPanda.com. Give this video a nice thumbs up for me, like it, and put any comment you want there. Let me know something about the show that you liked, something you hated, what you thought of the show, any comment at all. And now get your imaginations ready for Ron Schneider, the original Dreamfinder. And as promised, I am here with the original Dreamfinder, Ron Schneider. And yes, I will give him the hug. It's a big thing for me to do. Ron's like, yeah, okay, I don't know about this guy. So I don't know if you know, I was very excited to have you here. I think I'm almost positive you were the Dreamfinder that I met as a kid. I mean, and I'm not really that much younger than you, but it was Dreamfinder and Figment was just the biggest thing for me. And I read your book. The book is From Dreamer to Dreamfinder, and you can get it on Amazon. You can get it. I got it on the iPad digitally. I told you my electric went out, and I had already downloaded the book. And once I started it, I just couldn't stop.
That's wonderful. Well, I started the book with the thing that inspired me to write the book, which was the 2011 D23 event, where Dreamfinder came back and surprised everybody. And so I started the book with a description of what went into that and how it was planned.
You were really surprised that people were so receptive to the return of Dreamfinder?
I was surprised that we got away with it. When the fella from D23 who came to me, he was a good friend, and said that we want to bring Dreamfinder back to sing One Little Spark and surprise Richard Sherman. And my words to him were, it'll never happen, they'll never let you do it, you'll never get away with it. And the whole build-up, this was about a year beforehand, and we mocked up the costume, and we got the puppet, and put the whole thing together. Nobody knew about it. When we got to the theater that day, the stage manager and Richard Sherman and Tim O'Day were the only people who knew what we were doing. So when I walked out on stage for the rehearsal and opened my mouth and did the Dreamfinder voice, everybody in the room went, "What?"
Well, how many people knew it was the original Dreamfinder? Couldn't they have thought, all right, they got someone to dress up as Dreamfinder? You think they just knew?
I think they just knew when they heard the voice.
Okay,
I think that was a giveaway. And also, yeah, the way that it was set up, that Richard Sherman had just finished going through his whole career. They got to one thing, and Tim O'Day says, "There's one song we forgot," and then they played the video from 2000, I'll be right, 1982 of the dedication, 1983 of the dedication of Imagination. And then I came walking on the stage. I think people figured it's probably this, it might not be the same guy, but
now when you heard all the cheers and yay, you was that a surprise to you for real?
Oh, what the size of it, yeah. I knew there'd be some kind of response, but there were 2,000 people in that room, and they were jumping up on their feet, and people are running down front and snapping pictures, and the front row was Tony Baxter, Marty Sklar, and all the people who built Walt Disney World were there, and Tony said he was weeping, and it was just an amazing experience.
I can't tell you how much. I think the ride, again, for people my age, the ride and the experience in Dreamfinder and Figment and meeting them and talking to them, it means something so much to us that we're hoping, there's a lot of speculation that maybe they'll either revert back to that original ride, which I doubt, or that Dreamfinder will come back in some form or fashion. Do we have any idea, or do you have any surmise? You see how popular it still is. They're still making products with Dreamfinder.
Mm-hmm. And the Figment comic book that just came out was a sellout and just came out in hardcover.
So are they getting the message?
Yes, the company's got the message. There is something going on. I'm hearing rumors every year that something's going to happen. I personally am confident that there is a plan, but that's just me. My observation is we keep buying new franchises. Now we've got Marvel, we've got Muppets, we've got Star Wars. And every time one of those comes on board, I picture Imagination getting shoved further and further down the line. We'll get to it eventually. Epcot is ripe for something new besides Frozen, and that building, I refer to it as a sucking black hole right now because there's just things disappear into it and nothing comes out. EO is gone at the moment because they're doing the preview for Tomorrowland. So I think something will happen eventually, whether it'll be Phineas and Ferb, which is the current rumor.
I'm hoping that goes in the Captain EO movie thing. I'm hoping the rumor we're hearing is that's the adjunct, not the Imagination ride. They can't.
Well,
I'll be picketing with
a lot of people have been picketing. One of the plans I heard, and this is several years ago, was that there was going to be a 3D film about the Dreamfinder's son coming back to the pavilion. And the problem is he's not very imaginative, so Figment tries to teach him what imagination is about. And Jack Black was being considered for the part of the Dreamfinder's son. And I know people have mixed feelings about Jack Black. I think he'd be terrific. I think he's a wonderful actor.
He would do that.
Yeah. The ride itself is a tough thing to top. One of the reasons I think that we're still remembered, that Figment and Dreamfinder are still remembered and held in such reverence, is because of that ride. I don't think it had anything to do with what we were doing out in the garden area. But the ride told the story of Imagination, and you had this chance to bond with Dreamfinder, and you were there when Figment was born. You came to identify with him. At the end of the ride, you got Figment surrounded by all these things he could do, and he was you. And that experience is what stuck with people, and I think what people are trying to get a hold of. It's like with Walt Disney. The reason I think people are so passionately loyal to the Disney brand has little to do with what the company is now. It's all about what Walt Disney did during his life.
But I think you may not be giving you enough credit. When I seen what you've done, now that I appreciate it as an adult, with Figment, just let's go for a second to something that I remember from the book where people just wanted to pose and take pictures. They just wanted to do the click, click, click. And you said, no, that's got to, is this all I'm doing? I'm just taking pictures? And then you used Dreamfinder and Figment, and you made it that Figment saw a little boy for the first time. And he didn't know, what's a little boy? What do you do all day? What do you have? And you made it about the kid, where the kid had to explain what he was to Figment. Give me a little bit of that, because that I think that adds to makes the ride what you just said it was, and I don't know if it's the reverse.
That came from the ride. That
came from you, though.
Well, but it was inspired by the ride. Okay. My background is in acting primarily. And when you're creating a character, creating a performance, you take the script that you've got and you look for clues in the script about what the character is. They come from three places: things that the author says about the character, things that the character says about themselves, and the things that people say about the character in the script. In the case of Dreamfinder, I had to create a three-dimensional character out of this ride, which was a set thing. Now, in Epcot Center, every pavilion told part of the story of the future of mankind and your place in it. Imagination was, if you think about it, the source of all the other pavilions. It explained where everything else in Epcot Center came from. Even World Showcase, it was the imagination of the different countries. So we had that mission of putting that out there, putting that statement out there, putting that idea in people's heads. So how do you do that with a walk-around character? Yes, I got out there and all people wanted was that fella had his kid's picture taken with the monkey. I want my kid's picture to be taken with the monkey. And then on top of that, we had autograph books. So everybody's going to check, I got to get an autograph. And the parents would just post the picture, pull it back. But I said, no, I've got a mission. I've got a purpose here that I have to fulfill.
Okay, and my point is that a lesser actor might not have that mission or purpose. Okay.
I'll give you that.
Good.
So that gave me a creative outlet, something to look for with the people. I treated them like sparks of inspiration, which is what the ride starts with, was them collecting sparks of inspiration. And that gave us a higher purpose. It also, you got to remember that when I was out there, I didn't have a queue line, I didn't have a meet and greet area, I was just out on my own. And
where you could wander at will.
Exactly. I had run of the building. It was wonderful. But that meant that there was always a mob of people waiting to have their picture taken, and I felt that I had to entertain all the people who were waiting while I was handling each person, so that the show that I was doing for everyone else was my interaction with that person. And so I had to find ways of making my interaction with them entertaining for everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did that by treating them as a spark of inspiration. Sometimes I would misunderstand what they were saying, or I would react to them in a way that offset the fantasy of it. People of a certain age don't want to deal with a guy with a puppet, don't want to go along with the game. And so I found that by mirroring their energy, their focus, I could suck people in who really didn't want to be sucked in. Kids, teenagers would come in and they'd be like on their heels. You know, they'd go back. So I would do the same thing as Dreamfinder. Hi, how you doing? Like that. And eventually they'd ask about the dragon. I'd say, you see him too? And this would suck them into the game. And when they could see that I was cool about it, wasn't, hey, how you doing? Shoving stuff down
you
your
were
throat.
letting them come to
Exactly. You can get too cute with something like that. It's real easy.
That's great to know that you knew that, and that's how it got them. Again, like I say again, a lesser person might not have thought of this. Another thing, too, what I also read from the book was, if you've ever been, obviously, most of you, I hope, have been to Epcot, when the monorail goes around the future world, again, I'm going to keep throwing these compliments, but a lesser actor might just say, you know what, the people aren't here yet. You knew enough that they're coming around, they're looking down at the Imagination Pavilion, you have your back turned towards them, but Figment notices the people on the monorail, tells you about it, you turn around, and now you're waving to them, and you're building up this anticipation that we're going to see this guy, and the dragon is real to me already, and I didn't even step foot into the park. Is that something you
This comes from the fact that I was born a Disneyland fan. I was there the day that the park opened in 1955. And so I could easily put myself in the mindset of somebody who's on the monorail seeing Epcot for the first time. And so that gives me something creative to play with. This is why Walt Disney said to his executives, don't sit in your office, get out in the park, see things from the guest perspective. And when you do that, it gives you ideas for how you can interact with them in a way that will surprise them and draw them in. And to me, that's the most exciting stuff, where you can give them something more than they expect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of talking to Ron about this before, and he gave me the best quote in the world. And I'm hoping he gives it to me again. Was when you went to, they had a Christmas parade in the Magic Kingdom, and it was the first time that you and Figment, or even Figment, had been in the Magic Kingdom. So during the parade, you're showing Figment different things in the Magic Kingdom. Just give me a little bit of that, because I love that.
It's something I campaigned for a couple of years to put us in the Christmas parade for the employee party, because they had every year they would shut down the parks early, and they would have a Christmas party for all the employees of Magic Kingdom and Epcot Center. And so the place was filled, and there were all these Epcot people, but there was nothing in the parade from Epcot. It was just the Magic Kingdom Christmas parade. So I started a campaign to put us in. So they put us on the teddy bear chair on the Toy Factory float, and I was up in the front. And you'll appreciate this, the seat normally moves up and down, side to side, but with me on it, it just moved from side to side. It didn't move up and down. But as we rolled down the street, and I hadn't planned this, as we rolled out onto Main Street the first time, I realized Figment had never been in the Magic Kingdom. And so it became me, Dreamfinder, showing Figment, there's the castle, this is over here, it's telling him about the park and like this. And you commented that it was a...
I just picture Figment's mouth like...
That's a lot of that, but it's unusual, but and bizarre. But as I was told you before, if I don't think he's real, no one else is going to think he's real.
That is so awesome.
And so I had to create that dichotomy. I had to come up with two different personalities. So when I first started with the character, the first days out there, I had no experience. I had no experience working with the people, but I knew I wanted to have a separate mind for him. So I instinctively took my libido and put it in my left arm, so that Figment was a hound dog. He would focus in on attractive women and follow them with his eyes. And I didn't have to think about that, see? So I could focus on being the Dreamfinder, talking to being like that. But if a pretty girl walked by, Figment would go over, and I got to the point where I could make it look like I was just grabbing it back in the nick of time.
It's a great way to blame something
else.
Oh yeah,
it's completely out of my control. And another thing that I quickly latched onto was whenever anybody asked me a question about Figment, I would answer whatever the opposite of the common sense true answer would be. So that it kind of put me in a quandary that I had to deal with it creatively. But people say, is he real? And I'd say, no, he's not real. People ask me where I met him. I said, he was a bag boy at the Winn-Dixie when I found him.
You got to get the book, From Dreamer to Dreamfinder. And I think it also says, there's another thing.
Life and lessons learned in 40 years behind a name tag.
And you actually, I will say I got that. I got some life lessons learned. I don't think I'm going to just give creative things away all the time because it seems like, it's somebody else is taking the credit for it. I learned that from the book. But no, it's really a great book. Can we find you on Twitter?
Not on Twitter. I am on Facebook.
How can we find you on Facebook?
Ron Schneider.
Ron Schneider. Yeah. Okay, I'll put it up here.
Yeah. But you can find me on Facebook, and I love hearing from people. You can also order the book from bambooforestpublishing.com, and they will send you a copy of the book autographed. If you want, you can get it through. There's an audio book, there's a digital book, there's paperback, there's hardback, all through Amazon. It's also on Goodreads, Barnes & Noble's site. A lot of different sources. It's a Theme Park Connection. They got copies.
It's really interesting, especially the whole celebrity lookalike thing at Universal, going through that. And there was something else in your life that you were happy about. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm engaged to be married for the first time. I'm 62 years old.
Congratulations. That's pretty cool.
I've met a wonderful girl. She's a special ed teacher from New Jersey, and she's moved down here. We got a beautiful home and 4 grown kids living with us, and it's a very different experience.
Hey, your adventure's just starting.
Yes, so.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, John. Thank you.
We're going to go get them lunch now. Bye, guys.
Feed me.
And there you have it, show number 23. Thank you so much for watching. I realize that your time is valuable, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you giving me that 30 minutes of your time. So I really hope that I'm giving you something back for that time, and again, I appreciate it. Our guest next month will be Kathleen Kelly from Special Mouse Podcast. It may sound like a depressing subject, special needs, but it's really not. And we all know somebody that has some special needs. We're not just talking children with autism, although that's a very popular topic. We're talking older people, anybody, a blind person, a deaf person, somebody that may not be able to stand for too long. There's a whole bunch of different special needs, and that will be the topic next month with Kathleen Kelly from Special Mouse Podcast. I'd also like to remind you, if you, loved one, friend, family member, anybody is planning a trip to Walt Disney World, please have them go take a look at my exclusive sponsor, David's Vacation Club Rentals at dvcrentals.com. You basically go there, you have a price calculator, there's no secret. The price shown is exactly what you'll pay for the nights that you selected. You give them a call and try to get the availability for what you want. You can definitely spend a lot less than you would if you call Disney alone, and you'll get probably a much better accommodation. So go forth, create pandemonium, and above all, really, give out those panda hugs. You know they've done studies on hugs? When you hug someone or give somebody a hug, like endorphins are released and a whole bunch of stuff. It means a lot. It changes somebody's day. It's like smiling. So just do that. And until next time, Panda out.